Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Logs. I am coming to you to give you guys my March recap and our April plans. And I'm really excited. I came in last month with like, we're doing this huge new plan, so I want to tell you how it's going. I have been keeping a weekly vlog too, just to kind of recap some things, like it's more detailed, to be honest. So if you're wanting more details, then follow the vlog videos. But yeah, I'll give you a general recap and then kind of show you as we're going into the next month. Okay, so last month I told you guys how we are doing a Charlotte Mason education style. We want to try it for 12 weeks. In last month, so to recap last month, we got the stomach flu very severely. So there was like a whole week written off. And then we have actually moved temporarily just for 5 weeks, but we had a moving week and taxes due. So we had like another week that was not totally a write-off, but it was a lighter week. We didn't get totally everything done. So right now on my schedule, I'm about 3 weeks checked off, 3 weeks worth of work checked off of my Charlotte Mason schedule. I have learned a few things, but let's recap next month and then I'll tell you about what changes we might tweak and whatever. So last month, it was Easter last month. So we had Holy Week and I wanted to give you guys, if I can find this, a bit of a recap of the books we read. So we always like to read The Garden, the Curtain, the Cross. This is a really great Easter book. If you don't have this in your library already, I think you should get it because it's a really great kids book. For Easter time. It basically explains why Jesus died and rose again in kids' language. It's illustrated really well. The other book I shared, I'll try to put it on the screen here, but I do not have it because I lent it to my mom because I wanted her to read it. I was telling her about it and she really wanted to read it too. But I wanted to give you guys a bit of a recap on that book called Dulu. I believe I shared it last month. I ordered it. It is an allegory, and I don't remember the author, but I'll put the picture on the screen so you can see. And maybe it'll say the author's name there. I thought it was really good. And I want to explain a little bit of that. What it is, like an allegory, like I love Pilgrim's Progress. That's also an allegory of like the Christian life. And in the same way, this was sort of an allegory too, different than Pilgrim's Progress, but that style. Another allegory that people talk about is Narnia. I don't mind the Narnia stuff, but I prefer not to think of it as an allegory, personally. Don't hate me. But anyways, as far as allegories go, this one was a win for me. It's kids who live in a place called Dulu, that's just a desolate place. They've got a big crevice that keeps them away from Mount Magnificat, and in allegory terms, it's like the lost people who have separation, have separation from the Most High, of course, God, right? And it's actually a great book to read post-Easter because when we celebrate Resurrection Sunday and Good Friday and all that, like it has that into it. A rock tumbles down from the mountain to come to Dulu. That's Christ. I'm sorry, I'm going to give some spoilers. Some kids find it. They are changed, but then people from the town roll the rock into the crevice because they don't want it here. And then the children are devastated, but then they find, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Then they find the way, which is, another name for Christ. There's a lot of names for Christ as they end up climbing the mountain and having fellowship with the Almighty One. And then they come down the mountain because they have work to do in Dulu yet. And they meet a man that they're kind of sent to find, who equips them with books, which in allegorical terms mean the scriptures, as well as armor that they are to put on every day and not to forget to wear it. I did find that at the last chapter, it seemed to me that this would be something that maybe is a series, because they kind of ended it like there could be more, which I thought was really interesting. I would be interested in the series. The other thing that's really neat is as you go through, there is lots of like symbolism in it. It's very appropriate for children. My 8-year-old was riveted, and he is not my kid that pays a lot of attention to read aloud time. And he was riveted, and my kids really liked it. Oh yeah, at the back of it, there is scripture, all the symbolism and stuff that's in it and some of the words and things that are things are called. They have a huge, do you call it a concordance in the back that has scripture that ties in like all the things that are happening. And so if you're wondering like, oh, what is that? That sounds kind of weird. You can go back and you can actually read scripturally how that's supposed to be an allegorical tie-in. So I really appreciated that book. I got a lot out of it. My kids really liked it. And we had really good conversations after reading each chapter. It's not that big. It's an easy read. I would recommend that one. Also, okay, so those were our Easter things. Also, we did Heidi Lee Anderson's printable pack. Oh, I don't have the whole pack here, but she has like a 1-page Easter lesson. I mean, this doesn't apply now, I know, because Easter's not coming up, so I don't have to tell you all the details about it. But I really like Heidi Lee Anderson. I'm reading her book right now. P.S. That's going to be good. Yeah, I think she's great. I've done a Bible study thing with her. It was really good. And anyway, so she had this Easter pack that was like a 1-page read that was funny. She's always humorous and like outrageously interactive and like engaging with kids the way she writes. And then we got a piece, we have to put it together yet, but we got a piece of a map each day. So the kids colored all these pieces and then you put it together. We're here in this new house and we didn't have any like sticky tack or anything. So we just like laid the map out to put it together. So we did that for Easter. What else? I most of the stuff that we did, I'm going to talk about for coming into April. So I feel like I don't have to go through a whole bunch. So I think let's just start talking about April now. So I'll let you know kind of what we have been doing and going forward and the things that have been working. So one of the things that I really like about going Charlotte Mason is there's just like lots of books for stuff. And you just kind of slowly, you lay out a feast and you slowly soak it in. I have had to discipline myself to be okay with that because I'm the kind of person who's like, let's whip through this and check it off. And I always preach, don't check off the boxes. Don't worry about that stuff. But I really am preaching to myself. So we are following my Charlotte Mason schedule that I have more details about this if you go to the vlog, if you want to actually see in detail exactly what we're doing every single day. But I'm going to give you guys an overview of what we've been doing that we're going to continue doing. And it's basically the same stuff from last month to this month. So for Bible, we are doing theology, and we're also doing memory work with theology, which I want to show you guys. And we're also doing scripture memory with that. We're reading from the Old Testament, we're reading from the New Testament. We were doing Dulu, that book, for some of our days. I have kind of a swing day written in. And also I have a swing day, when I have a swing day for Bible, we will listen to the Truth Seekers podcast. We did that this morning. That is our very favorite Bible podcast for kids. I highly, highly recommend that, like so much. And it's lovely because my kids just know if the Truth Seekers podcast is on, just quietly make breakfast while we listen to it and we all congregate around the table. She prays at the end and then we can start our day. It's really, really lovely. Okay, so for theology, I think I shared last time I had some printables to share with you guys. So what I've done is for theology, I didn't do the whole book, but because I have a 12-week Charlotte Mason plan, for the first 12 lessons in theology, I took a Bible verse from there and I made this for my oldest. So every Bible verse, maybe I showed this last time, has a copywork verse for him to print out. The next day, he covers this up for memory time and he writes it out again, but there's some blanks that he fills in. The next day for memory time, he covers it up and there's even more blanks. And again on Thursday. And then on Friday, he flips the page and it's just blank lines and he writes out his memory verse. So that's what he's been doing. Bible memory has actually been going really well. It's working really good with my kids. The younger ones, so Charlotte Mason had some suggestions on, actually we're using this for both reading and spelling. So I just have like a little photo holder with little envelopes with little verses. And what I've done is I've printed out the same verses. I actually don't have a printable made for this, you guys. I would like to do it for the whole ology book and then share it with you guys, but you can do this with whatever. So I typed out the verse and then I cut up all of the words. So here, this is Revelation 1:8, I think. Is that the one I grabbed? Yeah. So I am the Alpha and Omega, says the Lord. I don't want to lose any of these words. So what I will do with these is I will get the kids to structure them. And for the younger kids, I start with just part of the verse first on Monday. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I keep adding until we have the entire verse. And so it helps them with sight reading because they start to remember these words by sight. And I'm very helpful. This is not a test right out of the gate. I fully tell them which is what word and what to say with me. I'm always encouraging them to point though to the word when they're repeating after me. If we say, I am the Alpha and the Omega, then my child also says it back to me, but appropriately points at the correct word as they speak. And then at the very end, on Friday, the goal is that they will assemble the verse like a puzzle and show me and then read it to me. So that has been good for reading. My 5-year-old is even doing this, but mostly I do have to help her still with what word is what. Mostly it's just maybe she'll pick up a sight word or two, maybe not. The other way we're using this for spelling is during spelling time, we'll get these letters out and I will tell my 8-year-old, I'll say, okay, I'm going to ask you to spell this word, say created. I'm going to cover it up right now. So I slowly put my hand over. He has a chance to look at it. I cover it up and he says created, C-R-E-A-T-E-D. And so we've been practicing spelling like that. When I was reading Charlotte Mason's volume 1, so she had, that was just what I picked up from her recommendations. For reading, she was really into sight words. And for spelling, she was really into sight words, like just really remembering how something looks and recalling that practice of recalling it to memory, more so than just sounding it out. I'm not worried about this with my 5-year-old, but she just likes to do whatever the other kids are doing. So that's why I'm doing it with her too. And she's memorizing a verse while we're repeating it and she's hearing it. But definitely for my 8-year-old, we're using this method for spelling and reading during our Bible memory time. And then for my 5-year-old, I'm not worried about that. Like I have a set of letters that she plays with, letter stamps that she plays with. And that's her skill this year, is to play with the alphabet. So just so you know how our Bible time is actually, like, we do a lot of the spelling and reading during just our Bible and memorization time. So that's that. That's with theology. And then during the times when we read, we have a day that we read an Old Testament passage and a New Testament passage, and we're going to just go, I think it's actually chronological, what I have scheduled out. We're going to go through scripture. My goal, my Charlotte Mason goal with that is recitation. So my understanding of Charlotte Mason recitation doesn't necessarily mean memorized reciting. But I'm working with my oldest child, so he would be in like form 1, I think, or is he form 2? I can't remember the forms just off the top of my head. But anyways, he's just at the next level, according to Charlotte Mason, like around his age and skill level. He's at a different level than my younger kids, right? So I'm kind of like trying to have us have family style, but also doing separate things. So when we read the Bible, this is my old Bible from when I was a kid. I will get my son to read the passages with me, or we'll take turns reading verses. But our goal is, Charlotte Mason, I'm going to paraphrase, she said to recite so well that you captivate whoever's hearing you. So we're not trying to just humdrum read or have good pronunciation or an enunciation. We're actually trying to read with interest and excitement and enthusiasm. And it's so much fun. So my oldest, we're doing recitation with our 2 days of Bible reading. That's where that's coming in. The other thing we're doing when it's our Bible reading days is I'm really focusing on my kids knowing the books of the Bible. They're actually also reinforcing that in Sunday school in the church that we go to back home, as well as the compartment, what do you call it? Like books of history, books of the law. This is what was called We College Bible. There was a little program when I was a kid called We College, and it was kind of like an intense-ish program that was really fun. All my memories are fantastic, with games and crafts, but like learning the books of the Bible. It was like a kids club, but really quality stuff. It wasn't just there to be fluffy and learn some good morals. It was like, no, we came away with a Bible in our hands. We knew that we memorized the books of the Bible. I was like 4. I knew the books of the Bible. I knew all the, now I'm forgetting, the compartments of the Bible, I'm going to call the sections. And so what they did for us, all of us kids, they gave us these Bibles at the end, and then they color coded the books of the book sections. And I remember seeing the posters when they had all of the lists of the books. All of the books of Moses would be in red. And of course we had the song. My kids know a different song than me to read the books of the Bible, which is like super interesting because I'm like, that's the wrong song. But I tell you, when I get into those minor prophets, I still sing the song. In fact, I was watching Chantel from Intentional Homeschooling the other day, and she was saying too that as she like goes through the pages of her Bible, sometimes she's still singing the song. And I was like, yeah, I do that too. She also had a fantastic idea of taking pasta boxes, flipping them inside out, and writing the books of the Bible on them and having them on their bookshelf. They look like books. And we've done something, I kind of copycatted her a little bit at home. I can't show you because I'm not in my own house. But we've been taking like toilet paper rolls, and I fold them so they kind of look squarish. And we've been making sort of a fake bookshelf on top of our window at home with the books of the Bible as we memorize them. So it's just really good. Even for my kids to see, like, you guys, the New Testament is right here. This is the most shocking thing for my kids to learn. This is the Old Testament. This is the New Testament. They were shocked to know, whoa, the Old Testament is so much bigger. So I've been really trying to reinforce just learning about the Bible, how it's laid out, the books in it, getting to know it as a whole book, not just little bits and pieces and lessons, which are also important. But that's something we're taking for our Bible time. I am rambling. We're at 17 minutes. Oh my goodness. So Bible time. That's what we're doing for Bible. Okay. So next on my list was history. Okay. So I showed you guys Pirates Illustrated last time. I'm going to share this and say caution. There was already some parts that I had to monitor or skip. This is not written for children, particularly when it talked about how pirates treated women and stuff like that. So it's a good book. We're using it. It's got tons of information in it. But yeah, I would say it's not a kid's book, just FYI. But we're reading that one. We're also doing Wonderhouse Creative's Age of Pirates, which is super fun. This is a dive into pirate studies, and she's got lots of activities. We're learning all about booty. The kids like had to pretend loot that they had to divide all the booty up between, the first mate and the captain and stuff. The other day they were doing some math, and it's been a really fun one so far. We're probably halfway or maybe a little more than halfway done that one. Okay. Age of Enlightenment is another book. I think I didn't show you guys this one because I didn't have it at the time of recording. It was coming in the mail. So the Golden Age of Piracy is at the same era of the Age of Enlightenment, at least in like Western history. So this is a lovely little book that I got that basically it does have a general overview of some things about the Age of Enlightenment, but it's also got a ton of biography. Benjamin Franklin is in here, David Hume, Adam Smith, Anna Maria Van Sherman, Dorothy Moore, Robert Boyle, John Locke. So Isaac Newton talks about England's Civil War. So basically we're just going through this book at the same time because I'm a unit study girl, and as much as I love the other things I've seen from Charlotte Mason, I just don't want to let go of my unit study vibes. I love it when our subjects tie together. So we're doing that one. So that's all of our history stuff. We're doing this book, Home Geography, that was C.C. Long. This was one that was, I think, recommended by Charlotte Mason. Either that or it was recommended by a Charlotte Mason curriculum, Ambleside Online. It's quite simple so far, but we are going through it just once a week. So that's really good. That's what we're doing for geography, as well as, I forgot our globe at home. But I'm trying to I better have a map out or something. What we have been doing at home is to make sure that we have a globe out and our timeline books now, which I want to show you. Hang on. Our timeline books. The point is, when we are reading and we come across a place in the world, we look on the map. We stop what we're doing and we look every time. And I would also like to do that with our timeline. Anytime that there is a time reference, I want to stop and I want to put it on our timeline so that my kids can, this is also called a book of centuries in Charlotte Mason speak. And it's just so that kids can be like, oh, we learned about that guy and now we're learning about this thing. Those are in the same century. How cool. Okay. I go through a detailed review of this and a whole bunch of other Charlotte Mason books that I've made a whole bunch in the very last video. It is my Charlotte Mason vlog week 4 video that will give you a detailed look into all these books I actually created and published on Amazon. They're just like notebook style. Whoops, I'm bumping my camera. Anyways, so timeline and mapping is also geography. Natural history, we're doing a Storybook of Science, which is actually on my tablet, which is very fun. I have learned that in the Charlotte Mason world, there are a lot of really appreciated classic natural history books or science books, but a lot of them have outdated information. So I'm not 100% sure that this book has 100% relevant, like up-to-date information about their scientific facts, but it's written really, really fun. My kids are actually really interested. It's like this uncle who's talking to his kid, and it's all story form, and it's got kind of surprising way to describe nature, and so far my kids are really liking it. I'm like, I hope all of this is accurate. This is fun. Anyway, so stay tuned. I guess we'll have to do a review when all of these books are done to really let you know a full scope of what we're thinking. Okay, and then for literature, for our read aloud, we were doing, where is it now? I have a book called Pirate's Passage that we're just going through. It's just a for fun fictional novel that I picked. The reviews on it were really good. So far, so good. And then where did I put it? Robinson Crusoe. Okay. Robinson Crusoe we're slowly going through, which is great. It's got ships and pirates in it too. So that's a great classic book. On a lot of Charlotte Mason lists and just fitting in really nicely with our theme. So we're going through that one. I decided not to do Shakespeare yet. Yeah, I'm going to put a pin in that one. Oh yeah, so poetry. Let's talk about poetry. So I would really like to do poetry every day, and I also want to do memorization every day. So I don't remember what I said in my last video because I did tweak my schedule and my intentions, but right now I'm just looking here. I have poetry. Where is this? I have poetry every Monday. I want to read a Longfellow poem. But then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I have 10 minutes of poetry memorization. So for example, yesterday we read a poem, but today and tomorrow and on Thursday, we are going to just work on memorizing that poem with enthusiasm and inflection. And we're having a lot of fun with it. So right now I originally had just a list of a whole bunch of different Longfellow poems that maybe we would work on a little bit of memory work each week, but it was switching up every week. And I was like, whoa. I actually don't want to do that. I want to take one poem for like maybe this entire 12 weeks, this entire term, that we can get really good at reciting, not just memorizing, but like really speak well and have fun saying it. Make sure we say it for grandma and grandpa and whatever, so that it's really stuck. But I still want every week to read a new poem from the poet that we picked. So that's my new plan for this guy. We're trying to develop those habits of copy work every day. We often do that from whatever we're doing for our read aloud. We'll do copy work and we'll do spelling words. We'll pick out spelling words from there. Oftentimes with my oldest son, what I'll do is I'll give him dictated copy work. So for my 10-year-old, I will speak to him. I'll read for him the passage that he will copy himself. And if there's any spelling oopses or if there's any words he has to ask me how to spell, we'll practice those ones. My 8-year-old, I let him look at our copywork passage and he copies it directly. I'm doing spelling with him with our Bible memory in the morning, so I'm not worried about doing another spelling session with him. And then for my 5-year-old, sometimes she copies things and sometimes she doesn't. I let her do whatever she wants. As far as that goes anyways. Recitation, I talked about how we were doing that. Math, the funny thing about math. So I did get our math books out. I think I showed you guys these last time. So my 5-year-old is doing Abeka. My 8-year-old is doing Apologia. Highly recommend Apologia. We love it. Short lessons, very hands-on, but short, sweet, not overworking, colorful enough to be interesting. Yeah, really good. Dimensions, a little bit more advanced, which is what my older kid needed. That's what my 10-year-old is doing. Here's the thing. So my 8-year-old is done his grade 3 book, was his book for the year. So this is next year's book. He's already started. So what I am doing with him is I am doing habit training for concentration. So I'm setting a timer for 10 minutes of math after he gives me 10 good attentive minutes of math. If he doesn't, we'd set the timer for longer. But if he can give me 10 good minutes of math, he's done for the day. That's it. I don't care how much he gets done, as long as he's attentive and working at things for 10 minutes, that's good. So I'm really thankful for this opportunity that he's quote unquote ahead. I almost don't believe in that word, but you know what I mean. I'm not worried about anything else. So we're just habit training for that. And my oldest son has a 5B book that he was just about to start. We only have about 10 more lessons in this one when we moved out here. But I thought I brought his B book and I didn't. I brought a textbook instead of another workbook. So lucky him. We're here for 5 weeks and he has like 10 lessons of math to do. So he went through this really great period lately where he was really attentive. He was getting math done really quickly. Everything was going well. He's kind of just over the last few weeks has kind of slipped into a place where he's not struggling with the concepts, because when I sit with him, he doesn't need my help at all. He knows what to do, but he's kind of doing the stare at the wall thing. And so I thought, well, it was meant to be. We're doing a 10-minute timer with him too. So we're doing 10 good attentive minutes. That's all we're requiring. That is not enough time for him to get an entire lesson done. So we're just going to put it away after 10 minutes, and hopefully it'll last us 5 weeks, maybe not. My plan is if we finish the lessons that we have in here, just doing those 10 minutes a day, we'll just practice times tables or something like that until we go home. So I'm really kind of excited about that, because with my 8-year-old, I've seen a huge benefit to that 10-minute timer, just practicing the habit of concentration. So I love that. I feel like it's very Charlotte Mason as well. Lastly, that I should show you, we did switch our grammar. So the last time I think I probably shared about our grammar, we were doing fix-it grammar. I don't know what I think about fix-it grammar at the moment. It's fine. It's light. I just didn't feel like it was enough to stick. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, there's so many people who love fix-it. And I'm like, am I missing something? Maybe. But here's the thing. I did not switch grammars because I was unsatisfied with fix-it grammar. I switched grammars because I was like, Charlotte Mason wrote a grammar program and I'm fangirling right now a little bit. So I was like, I want to try it. So I have printed off, I paid like $2 for this. I printed off her first grammar lessons, and we're just doing this with my boy. And she does have, I did notice that as we're doing the lessons are short good. I sent him away. This is only with my oldest I'm doing this. I sent him away. He reads the lesson. He comes back. He narrates the lesson to me. Then we do the exercises side by side. And there is a lot of exercises. I shouldn't say the exercises are a lot. There may be like 6 things she asks the kids to do. But it's like, write 6 sentences doing this. Write another 6 sentences about doing that. I do feel like it's a little much. I don't feel like he needs to have 6 sentences written down about one thing if he already understands the concept. So oftentimes I'll ask him to write 1 or 2 sentences, or I'll ask him to verbally tell me 6 sentences or 3 sentences or something like that. So I'm modifying a little bit as we go, depending on his understanding. If he ever starts to struggle with any of these concepts, of course, I will slow down and we'll maybe do a little bit more of those exercises. But so far, really loving the simplicity of this, and so is he. So yeah, that is kind of, I guess, as far as like the materials that we're using, that's what we're doing. I did finish the Charlotte Mason Volume 1 in audiobook, and now I would like to go through it again in paper. I got this version, which has like room to write in the margins. It is the annotated edition. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I would also like to get book 6 or volume 6 next. From what I understand, that might be a good recommended next book to go over the older grades and stuff like that. So anyway, that is material-wise our plans coming up. I hope you go back and watch that other video the week 4, because I share all of these books that I made. I have Narrate journals for all my kids. I have a book of mottos. Oh, sorry, this is timeline. This is timeline. My one son is green, one son is blue, and my daughter is pink, and they're all kind of gradient. Like the pink has like gray and pink. They all have calendars now. They all do calendar work. Oh, there's my girl's timeline one. That's calendar. That's her Narrate book with primer lines. Narrate. Where's the mottos book? I have another pile. Okay, so mottos is like, it's not narration. Mottos is for like, it's also called a commonplace book, to put things that are really inspirational or important, something that they will hopefully keep for a really long time, and write less in, but good things. Compute, I just wanted them to have some graph paper if they need extra paper for math. I feel like my younger kids won't use this as much right now, but as they get older, we'll find the need more and more for some graph paper. So yeah, those are their compute books. I will link these. I have made them on Amazon, so they're published on Amazon. They have like a matte finish. They feel almost rubbery or something like that, but the inside pages are just normal paper. And I chose the off-white because I just like off-white better than that stark white brightness. You can even see against the wall how it looks like creamy. So I love that. I just made the books that I wanted my kids to have, and I published them on Amazon so that I could buy them and they would be bound and I wouldn't have to print them. I mean, I love my printer, but there's something with having a bound book, and so I shared them there. I did have a request to have a digital version of these available, which I will consider. Let me know if you are interested in a digital version, because I probably could do that. It would be the same PDF file. It's actually more work to make them published on Amazon. So if there's enough requests, I will put them in my digital shop for a digital download for any of these. But I wanted the bound books, so I just assumed everybody else would want the bound books. Anyways, I will maybe link these books below so you can see them on Amazon if you know you want them. And I'll link that week 4 video below too, so you can really see a detailed view of all of them. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it for the academic side of things. We're looking forward to being here. I should give you guys a house tour, because I should tidy the house and do that, because it's just really fun to be in a different place. It's a little adventure. As my husband does some flight school stuff, we're just hanging out, and we're looking forward to being city life a little bit in the spring here in April and enjoying that. There's no pets to look after. There's no plants to water. All the kids brought one backpack each. Like, there's not a lot that I have to even care for as far as stuff goes. And I'm finding myself in a rest place that I really think I needed. I still brought my work with me, but I'm not taking on extra work because I feel like I need some rest. And this feels like what I needed. So I'm excited about that. So I'll do a whole house tour video and talk to you guys about what's going on here in our new little house that we're living in. And yeah, it will be great. So I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next month. Talk to you later. Bye.